in cold blood. A Baltimore police detective shot in the head has now died.
We are absolutely certain that the community will step up again and stand with the Baltimore Police Department to bring this heartless, ruthless, soulless killer to justice.
The loss for the department and the search for his killer. Hello, everybody. I'm Denise Koch.
And I'm Vic Carter. Heartbreak for the Baltimore City Police Department. Detective Sean Suter, an 18-year veteran, was pronounced dead this afternoon. He was a father of 5 and served in the Navy before joining the police force. Rick Ritter is live at City Police Headquarters with the crime crisis on the streets, the detective being the latest victim. Joy Burnett is at shock trauma where doctors worked to save his life. But we began with WJZ investigator Mike Helgren live at the scene in West Baltimore with more on the detective and the search for his killer. Mike.
Vic, the state has just put forward $100,000 to dramatically increase the reward being offered right now for information leading to an arrest in this case. The commissioner says they have investigative leads. They've made no arrests, though. For the first time in his tenure as commissioner, Kevin Davis announced the death of an officer in his department.
Just after noon today, 18-year veteran homicide detective Sean Suter was pronounced dead. 43 years old, married, father of 5.
Homicide detective Sean Suter was shot in the head while doing a follow-up investigation to a murder in one of West Baltimore's most violent blocks on Wednesday afternoon.
We are absolutely certain that the community will step up again and stand with the Baltimore Police Department to bring this heartless, ruthless, soulless killer to justice.
The shooter remains on the loose with a large police presence at the scene. Authorities believe he may have been wounded in the attack.
We're obviously searching emergency rooms and doctors' offices, anyone who has an unexplained injury. We want those folks to pick up the phone as well and just describe that to us.
The reward has dramatically increased to $169,000 for information leading to the killer's arrest.
We need to stop the violence. But I also ask the city to pray for our police officers, because I've said this earlier today, that when they leave their homes, their families' hearts go out the door with them. No one can anticipate this kind of thing happening, but every life lost in this city to violence or any other issue is a life lost for Baltimore City.
The detective was just doing his job. The commissioner says he was dressed in a suit with his badge at his side. Tonight, again, you can hear some of the police sirens. Streets here remained cordoned off, and the search for the killer is on. Reporting live in West Baltimore, Mike Helgren, WJZ.
Thank you, Mike. Let's go now to Joy Burnett. She's live at Shock Trauma. She has more on the efforts by doctors to save the detective's life. Joy?
Denise, good evening to you. Detective Suter was a husband and a father of 5. Today we learned he died around noon here at Shock Trauma with family by his side. The police commissioner said a gunman ended a beautiful life. Detective Sean Suter died here at Shock Trauma about 18 hours after he was shot in the head on the job.
Detective Suter suffered a single gunshot wound to his head. Unfortunately, that wound was a fatal wound.
The 43-year-old was a veteran in the Baltimore Police Department, but he also served the country as a Navy officer. Mayor Pugh said Detective Suter is from Washington, D.C., but he met his wife here in Baltimore. He leaves behind 5 children. The mayor also said the youngest is just 14.
And again, I ask the city of Baltimore to please pray for this family, a strong family, a police officer who gave his life doing his duty.
Commissioner Davis described Suter as a go-getter who was well known. Some of the same surgeons who tried to save his life also called him a friend.
And we consider the Baltimore City Police Department very much part of our family. We knew Detective Suter. He will be, in fact, sorely missed.
The Fraternal Order of Police said they're grieving this loss. In some of their final words to a fallen comrade, they said, "Rest in peace, brother. We will take it from here." Now, the mayor said she has been in contact with Detective Suter's wife. She said the family is in shock, but they have incredible support. Live tonight at Shock Trauma, Joy Burnett for WJZ.
Joy, thank you. Rick Ritter is live at the City Police Headquarters with the ongoing crime crisis plaguing the city. the detective just the latest victim. Rick.
Well, Vic, the mayor has called the crime out of control, and the neighborhood we're talking about tonight is notorious for gun violence. Those who live there say everyone knows about their area, but for all of the wrong reasons.
It's the trenches. Like, when we say it's the trenches out here, we don't mean that as a joke.
The area of Harlem Park is often called a war zone. Drugs, shootings, and murders. Why Detective Sean Suter was there in the first place.
I've been living around here since 14 years. Bennett Place has been indicted since before I moved around here.
Just months ago, 2 teens were killed, including 15-year-old Jeffrey Quick, whose friend asked WJZ to conceal her face.
That hurt. Like, that hurt.
More than a dozen people have been gunned down there in recent years.
It starts from up top before you can start, pointing fingers and blaming others that live in the actual communities here.
2017 could end up being Baltimore's deadliest period ever, with already more than 300 homicides. Even hit communities often thought to be immune from heavy crime, like Federal Hill.
This is worse, man, than Detroit in one way, and it's worse than Chicago.
And the Inner Harbor, where there's been vicious random attacks.
They just don't understand the pain, the terror, and the hurt that they cause.
Mayor Catherine Pugh has faced heavy criticism.
Anybody who thinks that I don't take this seriously or that this is not something alarming to me,
Firing back that it's the city's #1 priority.
I am deeply disturbed about the violence.
While the commissioner has pointed at judges with repeat offenders constantly getting out.
The reason why we know who they are is because we lock them up again and again and again.
Many are left wondering what it will take for Baltimore to come out on top.
We will continue this fight, and we will continue until we win it.
And with murders, Baltimore is outpacing larger cities like New York and Philadelphia. The mayor has acknowledged that there is certainly a shortage of officers in this city. She says they're moving that process along as fast as possible. Live at City Police Headquarters tonight, I'm Rick Ritter reporting for WJZ.
Rick, thank you. WJZ has the latest on the death of Detective Sean Suter. He was pronounced dead at noon today, an 18-year veteran of the department. He was married and a father of 5. The search continues across the city for the killer. There now is a $169,000 reward for information leading to the killer. There are multiple hotline numbers set up for information about the suspect. 1-800-CALL-FBI, City Homicide at 410-396-2100, 1-866-7-LOCKUP, or text TIPS to 443-902-4824. Stay with WJZ for updates on the search for Detective Suter's killer.